I'm Stephan Mercatoris at Nutanix. There's a lot of interesting people in the technology industry that make life what it is today. Here I get a chance to chat with them while tasting delicious craft brews from around the world. This is Beers with Engineers. Today my guest is Chris Brown, former SRE and now Technical Marketing Manager at Nutanix.
Here we are. We're at Beer Study and Starpoint Brewing today to do another episode of Beers with Engineers.
Hooray.
With Chris Brown.
Hey. Well,
hey.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm excited.
Right. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so I guess let's transition into some beers.
Okay.
So the first beer, given the color of it, I'm fairly sure that this is the beer you selected.
Yes, this is the Stone Brewing Merc Machine. And you know, I selected it because I like IPAs, and also it's the Merc Machine, and I figured there was no better beer to be on the show with than the Merc Machine.
All right, so cheers.
Prost.
Let's try this IPA.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
That's pretty good.
It tastes like an IPA. It's a bit more like, it has almost like the citrusy background to it. I'm a fan of.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an IPA through and through.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely, you can tell it's one of their strong ones, but yeah, that's what I love about IPAs. I love the citrus IPAs more.
And this one's a 9%?
You can definitely taste the 9% in it, but it also, it's there, but it's not like overwhelming like some high percentage beers can be.
Yeah. I'm down with it.
It's good.
Certainly, again, I'm just not a huge IPA guy, but I drink it.
Yeah, it's, to be completely honest, like all I drink now.
Yeah.
Every time I go to a new bar, I look at the menu and I'm like, well, what do I want? I was like, well, let's find the IPAs. I haven't had that one yet, let's try it.
You've become one of those people. If it doesn't have hops, it's not a beer.
No, exactly, well, no, of course not. I put hops on everything. You know, I keep a little bag in my pocket, just sprinkle it.
Just use it as a condiment on your food.
Oh, exactly. You haven't lived until you put hops on everything. Hops pizza?
Yeah.
Actually, that sounds awful.
That's terrible. So, Chris, I know that you've been heavily involved in the Nutanix Tech TopX endeavor that has been going on for, I don't know, years now.
Yeah, it's been
you did most
years.
of the first videos.
Yep.
And then you've kind of been a reoccurring figure as time went on. So, like, I guess, how'd you get wrapped up in that? And like, you know, what's that like?
Yeah, so Tech TopX is, I love, and I'm really, really happy to see that continue going. And basically what happened is that when I started at Nutanix, we were in a tiny office here in Durham. It wasn't really permanent, it was more of a, it was one of those, cables running on the ground, no signage, any tiny region office. I was talking with my manager at the time, along with Jake and Renee, one of the e-learning developers, and we're talking about like, hey, it'd be great if we could have a video series that talked about top problems that SREs are seeing and how to fix them without having to, so they don't have to open a case. Because at that point, we were still very small. This was back in, around the time we were doing this was like 3.5.2 days. At AOS 3.5.2, we're up to 5.5 now.
Yep.
It's been a significant change in the code over time. I think some of our first ones were around, how does Hyper-V networking work?
Yep.
We were getting a lot of cases on that. Like,
I remember watching that video.
People not understand, we'd get a lot of cases that were like, hey, everything's fine, I just don't understand how the hell this works. So like, well, hey, let's develop some videos for that and have, KBs posted on it and posted on YouTube. And then over time, as we started covering all the backlog or as things changed, we changed it to really, still that same idea, but it's really focusing on what's coming out, what's new, how to use the new thing, how do you kind of like I still come back and do the what's new in each release.
Yep.
And those are always a ton of fun to do because, that's one of the ways I keep track of what's coming up is helping, go through that list of things that are coming and being like, is this actually a feature we should talk about or not?
All right, so let's try beer number B. Beer number B. I've had enough of these beers. So beer letter B, I think that's gonna be the,
wow.
This is the Prairie 2017 Birthday Bomb, which is like an imperial stout.
It's got a deep stouty scent.
Oh yeah, oh for sure. All right, cheers.
Roast.
Wow, that is, yeah, it's definitely like a high ABV stout.
And you're telling me you like that more than the IPA?
Well, this one's a little sweet, I will say.
Okay.
It's not something I could drink a lot of, but I would, I'd be fine with a small pour of this every once in a while.
It's good news, that's what we have.
Yeah, but luckily we're on track there. But yeah, I mean, dark beers are typically what I'm into. This one's a little on the sweeter side, though.
So, question then, did you start liking dark beers and then grew the beard, or did you grow the beard and then dark beers you started enjoying them?
Yeah, I'm actually trying to think. I think I started drinking beer before my beard like started really growing.
So
it was like tamed when I started drinking beer.
Okay.
I've had a beard since 2008. I haven't shaved my beard since 2008.
Jesus.
Yeah, because when I don't have a beard, I look like I'm 12. So.
You just don't want to be carded, is that?
Yeah.
Well, so I think that gives us some conclusive evidence that beer causes beer growth.
Yeah.
You drink
100%.
beer to become a Viking, I think.
Yeah, cheers to that.
Or yarg.
So I guess kind of outside of the realm of Nutanix, is there maybe like a technology or product that you're excited about?
Yeah.
You know, what might that be?
So it'd be containers, to be honest. You know, they've been around for a while, but I saw them and I was like, what the hell is this? But as I started using them more and more and started learning about them, it's really incredible. Like I love doing like a Docker Compose up on my local machine, testing out everything without having to install for a while my website was written in Ruby on Rails with a Postgres SQL backend, and it's kind of a pain to set up a Postgres database on a Mac or a Windows. I don't want to have all that extra crap running because it's one of those things that I'm going to install and 3 years later and be like, why the hell is Postgres installed on this machine?
Yeah, I know that feeling all too well.
But you know, I started using it with Docker and wrote my Docker files out, my Docker Compose out, and then I can just Docker Compose up, and my website's is up and refreshing, and I can make changes and test it and go. I love that. And then when I'm done, I take that and I paste it into my Docker swarm, or Kubernetes. Is what I'm moving to. I'm going to move it to next because that's kind of the future right there. But and I wanted to deploy Kubernetes on AHV, but there was none of those other methods supported it at the time. Now we've got Calm, which has Kubernetes blueprints in it, so I can deploy that. So I'll move it over there, but I just paste the Docker Compose file into my swarm today, and boom, I've got my updated infrastructure.
Let's move on to beer number C. So beer C was selected by one of the brewers here at Beer Study and Starpoint Brewing. That is a very interesting aftertaste.
It's spicy.
Yeah, I like this a lot better than the beer I selected, actually. I don't like it's has the same kind of like roasted flavor, but not nearly as sweet. After having this very sweet stout, this is actually very nice to mellow out with.
It starts off with a hint of sweetness, and then it's cut by that like spicy pepper.
Yeah, it's interesting that because it does taste like some kind of spiciness or a pepper or something along those lines.
So this was selected by Nico at Starpoint. It's the McKinney Volume 1 Mexican Stout. He brewed it with vanilla, cinnamon, ghost pepper, pastilla, and ancho chilies.
Wow, that's awesome, because like most of the time, like if I feel like if there's a beer that has some kind of spice or peppers in it, typically it comes through in the beer in a spicy flavor.
Yeah.
Here it's much more subdued in terms of the spice. The spice is actually not overwhelming. You get the flavor of it, but not it doesn't feel like it's burning your mouth.
It's almost like a palate cleanser right after drinking, because you taste the beer and then it just cuts through the flavor and just leaves you like kind of crisp.
Yeah, that's definitely my favorite beer of the three. I like this one the best. Thank you, Nico at Starpoint Brewing.
Nico knows what he's doing.
Yep. Awesome. So outside of work, technology, like what do you do for fun?
So it depends. I travel a lot for work. And I mean, at the end of last year, I was traveling both in October and November. I traveled three out of 4 weeks. So that makes it hard to do things out. But besides that, I love cooking and reading are my two big hobbies, and gaming are the three big hobbies. Cooking's a lot of fun.
Cook anything interesting recently?
Well, I'll talk about what I did for Thanksgiving. So we had a whole turkey. I took the skin off in one piece, then took the breasts off, and then took off the drumsticks and the wings and put those aside. Then I took the breasts and I laid down the skin. I put the breasts, butterflied them open, laid them out on it, scored them, and then filled that with spices like salt, pepper, rosemary, porchetta spices, and then wrapped it up and then twined it up. So we get this like ball of turkey with the skin on the outside and just all tender meat on the inside. And then I took that and I sous vide it.
Oh wow!
But I'm not done yet. So we sous vide.
Oh wait, there's more.
Exactly. So I sous vide it. It goes like 3-4 hours at I don't remember the temperature, but gets cooked throughout. But now you've got like this limp skin. It's cooked, but it's not appealing. So then I took it and I deep fried it for 2 minutes.
Oh wow.
So we ended up with this roll of turkey that was, crispy fried on the outside, perfectly tender and cooked through on the inside with all of these like really delicious spices.
That sounds great. Yeah. Well, we also have to throw a shout out to Layla, the house pug here at Starpoint Brewing. There will be I'm sure there's going to be some B-roll of Layla. You guys will see her in the episode.
I think it should just be a requirement that everywhere has a house pug.
Yeah. If you guys could take Layla's face and just superimpose it over our faces in the entire video, so it's just Layla talking to Layla the whole time, I'm totally down with that. All right, so Chris, thanks for coming out to talk to us on Beers with Engineers. And
it was a lot of fun.
Thanks to Beer Study and Starpoint Brewing for having us here today. And thanks for Layla for guest starring on our show. Much appreciated.
Heard but not seen.
Yeah, heard but not seen. All right, cool. Thanks a lot, guys.